Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Yes, welcome back. Today we have a special live and we have some special guests in the studio with us today
Yes.
because we're talking about Women's History Month and how we as women can make ourselves the shero.
Yeah, we talk about relationship stuff on this channel. We talk about how to become the better version of yourselves, and this is part of that. We always talk about this education and how to make things better, how you make your marriage better. This is how you start.
We
I
talk
know.
about we talk
Uh,
about being the best versions of ourselves,
Right.
right?
And this is something that we put into action. We're not just talking about it. This is something that we've done in the past. And this is how we've navigated these 31 years in our marriage to make it very, very strong.
So I know we always encourage people to go out and do self improvement, self love, doing things that's going to benefit you. So I know several years ago I took the challenge and I um, jumped in and I did some self improvement and I went to a women's conference and it
Yes.
absolutely changed my life.
Marriage as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just improved everywhere around. So
Right.
let's just get a bit real.
All right, so without further ado, we're going to bring on our guests so they can talk about the Women's Conference and from their perspective and what it can do for you. So let's bring our guest in.
All right, let's go ahead. Welcome, welcome.
So we have Reverend Jackie Atkins and we
Hey,
have Lakeisha with us. Lakeisha, I'm not sure of your last name.
There you go.
graceful.
Okay. All right, speak up just a little bit. So welcome to the show.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
All right. So tell us a little bit about why you're here today. What's our special
Yes.
live about?
I want to first thank you and Jason and my team member Lakeisha Grace Sewell for just hanging with me, supporting this effort. I am here because it is Women's History Month. And what women need to know is where they are, all that came before them is to be celebrated. We laid a foundation for them to be awesome, to be exactly what they can be. And so it was about 16 years ago that I started coordinating and creating this thing called the Gold Rush Women's Conference. It is an opportunity for us, and I have 15 wonderful team members. It's opportunity for women to come in what I call a cocoon of love. Because see, too often, even though we came here, we were born intrinsically great. Oh, by the time we're grown, we often forget. We often forget. I mean, we think that we're not this and we're not worthy of that and we can't achieve this and why didn't they pick me for that? And all of these layers cover up what I call my gold mine. Each
All
of us
right.
come here with a gold mine. And the conference allows us in many, many, many different ways to pick up the muck and the mire. That's why it's called the gold rush. Pick it all up, take it all off, pick up a gold nugget and create a desired and deserved life experience. That's what life is about. That's why we're here. And as we create this wonderful life for ourselves, guess what? The family's enriched, the community is enriched, the
Yes.
world is enriched. Hey, come on. It
We
doesn't get
never know
better
what's
than
the
that.
next history maker, right?
That's it. That is absolutely right.
Okay, so tell us about the Women's Gold Rush, the Women's Gold Rush Conference.
Okay. It is April 28th to the 30th. It will be in Hyatt Regency Lyle in Lyle, Illinois. And we will do some of the phenomenal things that we have done over the years where women have told us year after year, thank you, thank you, thank you. Women come in, we have phenomenal speakers. We have speakers from Atlanta, we have speakers from Detroit, we have speakers who study with Ayanla, we have Reverend Sherry James, who is out of Los Angeles, who studied with Della Reese, and she's coming as my co-host this year. And we have workshops, workshops where you are not just sitting there, you are engaged, you get to take home with you tools that you can use long after the gold rush is over. Yeah, we have a lot of phenomenal kinds of things that are happening. Lakeisha, help me out.
Well,
Yeah, I know it's
let's
all
go to
full,
our
right?
first talking point. Before Lakeisha comes on, let's go to our first talking point. So we can give the women out there exactly what they need to know so that they can realize the goal that is deep within them, why they need to dig for it. So what's our first talking point?
First talking point is discovering yourself and what that really means. I'm going to let the ladies take it from here and go ahead and tell them what it means to really discover yourselves and what it's really all about.
I I will start. Lakeisha can pick it up because she has done some phenomenal discovery and is shining very brightly. But discover yourself means to come back to an understanding of who you are. And there's no religion belief required except that there's a higher power that created you. And that higher power I call God. I don't care if you call it Allah or whatever, but this higher power didn't and doesn't make junk. It makes things that are perfect and phenomenal and powerful with lots of potential. And so this conference allows you to walk in the door, perhaps bent down, head bent down, but walk out standing straight up because you rediscovered just the powerful woman that you are, the potential that you have. You perhaps haven't tapped in all of it, but you are once again reminded, whoa, I have that kind of potential. I can make that kind of difference first in my life. And Tina, I heard you at the opening. You got to love you. If you don't love you, if the cup is not full, there's
That's
nothing
right.
to overflow to give to anyone else. So I can make a difference in my life and in all those lives that I touch. Discovering yourself is critical. If in fact across our community, and I say our community of women,
Mm-hmm.
if we were able to do that, it would just be awesome in what we can continue to contribute to the world.
All right, Lakeisha. So I know it
Well,
has
before that, I just
definitely.
want to say we had a nice little comment. Well, just a little comment from Nancy Smith from out there in YouTube. Thank you so much, Nancy, for checking us out. Don't forget, you can always go over to Gold Rumming.
Gold Rush
Go
Women's
Rush.
Conference.
Yes, to register. We'll bring that up in a second. But I just want to say thank you. If you guys have any questions or comments, hey, go ahead and type them in the chat, and then we will go to get them up on screen for you.
So, as I was saying, Lakeisha, I know it has definitely impacted your life because it's impacted mine. And as Reverend Jackie said, you are shining brightly. So, tell us how it has impacted and what you're doing.
So I like to just, I'm glad that Reverend Jackie used that word rediscovery, because I don't think that just like a marriage, right? I've been with my husband now. We're celebrating 21 years, 26 overall, college sweethearts, right? Sometimes you forget or you lose
Yes.
your way in a marriage. You forget all the things that attracted you in the first place. You forget the things that made you friends. You forget the ways to love one another, right? The same thing happens with women. We forget to love ourselves. We forget all the dreams that we have. We forget all the things that, to forget, to block out what the world has told us and remember and come back to ourselves. So the Gold Rush has been a journey for me over the last 12 years since I've been attending. And it's a funny story. You asked what I'm doing. It's a funny story. I came to the Gold Rush as hired help. I was a PR consultant. And this was at a time when every year there were big names attached to the Gold Rush. So this was the first year that a big name was going to be attached to the Gold Rush. And I worked side by side with this person, and Reverend Jackie wanted her to speak. And so I was the person to go back and get her, and Reverend Jackie said, well, I would really love for you to come and work. And I said, well, no, I'm not working right now. I don't want any clients. I don't want
Turning down work. Okay, life
I
must be
was.
good for you.
I was turning down work. I was going in a whole different direction and did not want to do this PR type of work. And so Reverend Jackie and I went and we sat down, we had lunch. And I was taken by the mission of what she wanted to do, and I still was like, well, I'm going to give you everything you need so you can go on your way and have great success with this thing, this Gold Rush thing, right? Little did I know that divine alignment would have me not only I stopped having Gold Rush as a client, and did all that I do for it as a team member, because I strongly believe in it and strongly believe in the mission, the ways that it's changed my life. It's elevated my vibration. just a whole new understanding of myself, my power. Um, and not just the gold rush, but having Reverend Jackie as a master teacher, being able to sit at her feet as she guides us. Team members, people think that we're just on the team. I don't know what people think, but you you may think that team members just show up at the day of, but this has been years of a sisterhood that's being built, years of teachings, years of studying, years of really going through our own trials and tribulations in our own lives and applying every tool that we get at the Gold Rush, every tool that's given at the Gold Rush. We've had to apply it in our personal lives as well as team members, right? So this team is being through adversity, through love, we come together to put on this gold rush, and it's a sanctuary for women.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of reverend this and reverend that, but I don't want people to get caught up in the titles of who is
Yes.
speaking. I
Right.
think I think Reverend Jackie made a phenomenal spirit-led decision to not have celebrities as frontliners and keynote speakers. Titles oftentimes diminish who we are, right? We look at somebody else's title and we think, well, I'm not that person or I'm not on that level, so I can't. So you spend a whole weekend really admiring or really, in reverence of someone else versus
Right.
looking
Right.
at your own gold. And so I think that was a phenomenal and really a pivotal moment for the gold rush to be able to have women stop looking outside and looking up at these other people and their titles. Every speaker who has been on this stage has had a story that shows transformation. I love the fact that Reverend Jackie demands, it's a requirement that you can talk all you want, but when you leave the room that you're speaking in or the stage or the microphone, you had better have given the women who are in attendance some tools that they can apply to their lives. Like, we can feel good with the motivational talks, but what are the tools for application?
Absolutely. So I know, just telling a little bit about my journey. I had been seeing, people with carrying bags, and I was like, "What is this Gold Rush Women's Conference?" Right? So I'm like I've never heard of it, and so it's so funny how it came to be. As you say, things align. So we were gifted with tickets to the
Fundraiser.
fundraiser,
Hmm.
right? The VIP tickets, not just
Yes.
any tickets,
Right.
but we were gifted with 4 VIP tickets. I'm like, VIP? Like, these tickets are $100 each. That's $400. Somebody say, "Here, Tina, here's $400 because you are worth me giving this to." And because of that, we went there and I was able to sign up, and I was so excited. And literally, my vibration was so high that
Mm.
honestly, I'm still trying to get back to that point, because once you get to that elevation
Hmm.
and you know that you can reach it,
That's it. That's it.
exactly, it's like you're like, okay, I'm not there. You know, when you have um taking your foot off the gas. You
Mhm.
know, when you've kind of just started to cruise and be okay. So it changed me so much that my husband came to church and started thanking Reverend
Yes.
Jackie, like,
Yes.
not that I wasn't already phenomenal,
Right.
right? But he was like, "Thank you, like, you have given me a brand new wife." And
Yes.
it's not the brand new, it's like you've awakened the dream, you've awakened the giant within you, and you realize, what am I doing? Life is worth living. If we're not going to live each day in our purpose and our power, then what is the point? So
It is tapping into your potential for manifest power. That's what we're doing. Tapping into your potential for manifest power. And
all
it
right.
is, I'm so grateful what you all do in terms of relationships. So many men have said when the women, as a matter of fact, my husband, he said,
My husband too. Yes.
because when the women come back, when I am whole, I can give so much more than when I am feeling bowed over and bent down. Okay.
Yes,
Hey,
Lord,
Tina.
So
I can attest to that. I mean, I had I'm gonna tell you guys, Tina went off. This is about 2018. I think you went to the first conference, and she came back. She was a different person. I mean, she had me getting excited, getting the dust off my dreams. Okay, I didn't even know I had dust on my dreams, right? So I'm like, okay, well, we need to do something, and we need to move on and continue to move forward. It was so exciting.
and this is one of the things that birthed from that, right? So
Yes.
we never even discussed, doing a relationship, because it's needed. We don't talk about relationships. We don't talk about marriage. Everybody wants to sweep things under the carpet or keep it behind closed doors. But if we don't talk about these things and we don't address them, we can't get any better. And that's part of the self development. What can I do? Not look to my husband, not look to my neighbor. What can I do that's going to help me be the best version of myself so that I can show up in a marriage and we can have the type of marriage that we dreamed of or initially had? So let's go to point two
Well,
before
before
we
we do that, I just want to talk about what we're here for.
Okay.
We're here talking with Reverend Jackie and Lakeisha. Lakeisha, sorry. Yeah. Lakeisha. And we're talking about the Gold Rush Women's Conference. So here's the information there. I just want everybody to understand this is life changing. So
Yes.
I know that Reverend Jackie has scaled it back this year. She's only going to take a few registrants.
100.
100. She's going to take 100 registrants. So, listen, I did this because it is important. So don't miss out on this.
Yes, yes. All right, let's
And you can
go.
go to the goldrushwomansconference.com, the website, to register.
All right.
Yep, there we go. Right
There you go. That's it. I just want to say one other thing too, as you
Sure.
go to the second point. I am humbled. I am grateful. I am proud that you, Tina, what you just said, and Lakeisha is flying high. She's my Gold Rush angel, and right now she is flying high. I would never say the Gold Rush did it all, but I will say that there's some things that occurred that happened that put some ingredients into her life that right now she's flying so high and she hasn't even begun yet. So I'm humbled, I'm proud, I'm grateful as I listen to both of you. It's like, yes, God, thank you.
And so we have to be able to find these type of tools if we want to elevate ourselves to the next level.
All right, so let's move on to engage and visioning. This is where the rubber meets the road. You know what? It was funny because we had a speaking engagement and we brought this up about making having a vision of your marriage and how to put it on the board and how to plan and steer your marriage in the right direction. So this is perfect.
All right, so tell
Let
us
me
about that.
tell you, engage in visioning. Number one, we do it seriously. We have a vision board room that is opened up. Reverend Sherry will be doing a visioning session with the women, and it will be open up all weekend so that throughout the night, women come and do their board. But I just got one example. There's a woman now who lives in New Orleans. And she called me about 3 weeks ago. And she said, Reverend Jackie, I just have to call. I just moved. I'm unpacking. And I'm looking at my 2018 vision board that I did at your conference. Everything that's on this board is in my life, Reverend Jackie. Please don't stop having the conferences. Please, I know the pandemic, etc., but please do it because the women are being blessed. So visioning is critically important. It's allowing yourself to hear what God has for you to do.
So Lakeisha, go deeper. What do you think visioning is? Come on, because I'm sure you didn't get to where you are without visioning.
Oh, I started doing vision boards with my family as a family event that we would do on the 1st of January every year, from the oldest to the youngest, aunts, uncles. And what I know for sure is the universe responds to what we put out and what we verbalize and what we manifest and hear, what we see in our minds. And nothing is good in our minds. It has to be, we're made to give to the universe, right? So when you write that vision down and you put it there. And the thing I love about the Gold Rush is the teachings and the teachers who come, who say that it's not even necessarily, you're not asking for a job, right? You're not asking for a car. You're not asking for a home. You're asking for a loving place that you go to rest your head and entertain your family that's full of love. You're asking for safe transportation that gets you somewhere where you feel lifted as you go on the road. You're asking for financial freedom where you are able to take your family and sow into people and give. And that is what we're asking for. So when we do vision boards, we're not putting cars and houses. You may do that, but there's a vibration that's necessary to go into that. And there's also a belief in it. You can put down that you want a mansion all day long, but if you haven't trained your mind and you don't know the tools of the belief that you need to have in order to even believe that you can walk through those doors of that mansion and not be the maid or not be the house guest, but it is yours by right. Until you have that type of belief, no matter how many vision boards you could do one every year, and you'll find every year you're putting the same thing on the board because
Yes.
it hasn't manifested, right? And so again, the gold rush, Reverend Jackie said she liked to the gold rush to take credit. I'll give all the credit to the gold rush and obviously the Most High, because he leads us to the places we need to go. And he led me to the gold rush. But it was because of that, because I was doing vision boards all the time, and things were on my vision board year after year that weren't being manifested. And it wasn't until I learned the tools, the mindset, the belief that I needed to have to really believe in the things that I was asking for, that I was worthy enough to get it. And that's a part of knowing your goal. Your goal is good enough for whatever it will afford you whatever you desire in life.
Wonderful,
Wow.
wonderful.
Wow,
All right,
wow,
Reverend
wow.
Jackie, anything before we go to point number 3?
I just want to mention that the conference was a visioning outcome for me.
Wonderful.
I wanted to create something where I wasn't trying to have women, and Lakeisha made me think about it. I didn't want them to come to learn how to do a resume. I didn't want them to learn how to come and get ready. I wanted them to come and walk out as they do, stronger, taller, and then they can go and get the resume. They can go and get the job. They can go and do whatever they're called to do. But too often we are taught the mechanics, and the mechanics just don't do it if I'm not standing strong.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
We are more than a conqueror. All right. So
Hold on. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these speakers. Can you tell me about a little bit about these speakers here, Reverend Jackie?
My goodness, yeah, I can. And Reverend Rowe out of Atlanta, she is a phenomenal speaker. She has worked with people across the country. She has a phenomenal church in Atlanta. She did a workshop last year when we did it virtually, and people were raving. So I'm excited for her to come back, because this will be the first time she will be in person. Reverend Christina Garza, in the midst, and this is what these women are going to be on a panel talking about, from solitude to gratitude and beyond, because each of them have done some phenomenal things in the midst of the pandemic and beyond the pandemic. Reverend Christina was a assistant minister in Evanston up here, and she is now the senior minister at a church in Nashville. And I'm like what Lakeisha said, don't be confused by the reverends. These are women who've had to overcome and who hear God tell them how to work and teach other women. It's awesome. Danny Stillwell is a student of Ayanna Van Zandt. She's one of the teams and my mentor. She has taught us, and she goes really, really deep. And then Reverend Amy is the senior minister at Cityside Spiritual Community here in Chicago. Reverend Amy is, again, in the midst of all we have undergone the last 2 years, has made some phenomenal changes. They're going to share the steps that were taken. They're going to share how they were led to do what they're called to do.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then Reverend Sherry, we all know Reverend Sherry.
Oh, yeah, Reverend, yeah.
Reverend Sherry is going to take us all to the next level.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we're going to the next point here. Thank you so much for that, Reverend Jackie. All right, so now we're talking about, we just talked about the superb speaker. You know what? I just really couldn't wait. I just had to go and get to it.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Calm down,
Yep. Yeah, I'm getting excited, you know.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So I know that I think it's Reverend Christina.
Yes.
I remember last year at the Gold Rush, she talked about how, going back to what we were talking about, how she visioned and always wanted to manifest being a part of the Gold Rush Women's Conference. And now
Yes.
here it is, she's a part of it. She has said when she first saw it, she has put it on her board. And even though it took some time, we never know when or where or how, but it will happen if we stay the course. So let's go to point number 4.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a testimony right there, baby. I
Yes.
tell
It
you.
was a part. We were crying when I first called her because she couldn't believe I was calling her, and I couldn't believe her story. And so we were like crying on the phone. So she said, in 2016, she had looked at and learned about it, and I gotta be here. I gotta be here. And so she did. She was there with us last year, and we'll be bringing it all this year.
And that just shows you the power
Yes.
that is packed into this conference.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna talk about these interactive workshops because you just, like you said, you just don't do just workshops like workshops,
We
just
just
busy.
don't come in, sit down,
Right,
and get a pen
right,
and
right.
paper,
No, no.
right? No, that's right.
It's important for each of us to be active, to take a step, to put our hands in there, to get other than our intellect engaged. And it means sometimes I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna have to let it go. I'm gonna have to speak the truth. I'm gonna have to think about certain things. I'm gonna have to write. I'm gonna have to go deep. I'm gonna have to work with the tools that are in this room because I want to walk out, as I said, from potential to manifest power. And what we've had, the speakers, the workshop facilitators have brought, and Danny Stilwell has brought so many different tools for us to work with that it's been phenomenal. I will tell you, Reverend Patty Logan is one of the speakers, and she works with women, helping them understand their powers. And she does all kinds of exercises where the women have to get engaged. We have Latina Harris, who's coming in. Latina is just good. She's also doing a comedy act for us. But
You have comedy too?
Yep, she's also, well, we do have this, we have fun.
Reverend Jackie,
And
tell him he
let me
can't
mention-
come.
let
Tell him
me-
he can't come. Get that clear.
Listen.
we cover the, and this may be one of your points. We are complete. We're mind, we're body, and we're spirit. Everything has got to be tapped, put together, so I can walk out standing up straight. And we do that. We have fun. We work out our bodies. And indeed, we absolutely do meditation and prayer at the beginning of each day.
And if I can add two things to that. So one
Sure.
is the workshops as well. I just want to say that these are sacred sanctuary spaces. All of that, what Reverend Jackie just said, all of that undoing and coming undone. You have to be able to trust the room that you're in to be able to do that, to not
Yes.
feel any judgment, to feel as if what you're pouring out will be received and that it'll be poured back into you, right? When you come undone, someone will be there to help you wrap yourself back up, right? And so I just think that the sisterhood and the softness that we are as women that we don't always get to be when we're competing for jobs and competing for the outside world. But when we're able to come together and focus on the God in us, right, our highest selves, that elevates you so you don't feel as if there's any lack or competition, but that this is my sister and I will hold what she's saying. I will hold her hurts. I will hold her pains. I will hold her dreams in the same reverence that I will hold my own. And so you can come undone in a room, and by the time you leave, you've got a new sister for years. You know, I've met strangers who have become sisters, and this is from all walks of life, right? From every whatever you want to call, right? Whether it's social economic, whether it's whatever titles we want to put on these bodies. I'll just be very transparent, if I can at this moment. A breakthrough for me that has come through the Gold Rush for sure is, you know, in this race conscious world that we're in, and my organization deals primarily with Black girls around media stereotypes and stigmas that hold Black girls back. And just my life experience, I've had a lot of rage and resentment and a whole bunch of other stuff around race consciousness. And I will say that one of my dearest friends I got from the Gold Rush, and she is a white woman. Dawn, my Dawn, and there was a simple conversation that reminded me that we're all spirit outside of this world. And the second thing, in terms of, because I know this is relationship, right? Legendary.
Oh no,
No. This is about the conference. This is all about the conference.
The conference circles back to this, right? So I'll say for you, Jason, one thing that I always do is I get a room to myself, and I'm at the conference, and the last day I stay over, and I invite my husband the last day to come to Lyle with me, and we use that time as our little staycation. So for relationships, men, send your wives so that you can then have some time with them at the end of it. It's just for me, it's that thing that you need. It's that booster shot that you need in your relationship.
So I just want to add, oftentimes, Jason and I have to clarify, our podcast is about, our channel is about relationships.
Yep.
And people think, okay, well, it's about married relationships.
It's about all your relationships.
Well, no, because if I'm single and my aspiration is to get married, how am I going to be ready when my perfect husband shows up, but I'm still left behind the old me? So we have to realize that in order to get what we want, what we vision, we have to become that version of ourselves. Your perfect husband is not going to show up if you're not doing the work that you need to do as a single person, as an individual, because relationships are everywhere. We have relationships with our boss, relationships with our kids, relationships with our neighbors, relationships with our coworkers,
with ourselves.
So relationships are everywhere. And if we can understand that it begins and ends with us. I can't expect someone else to come into my life and make it perfect for me. I have to be what he's seeking, and he has to be what I'm seeking. So, as you said, relationship, it's a full circle. So for single people who are out there looking and putting on their vision boards that perfect husband, you need to be at this conference so that you can become that perfect wife. There is no perfection except for in God, but we know what we want, and you can't want something loving if you're not expressing love. So that's just for that.
Because no matter where we go, there we are, right? So we're the same, whoever we are, we're the same in our parenting. We're the same in our being a daughter or a son. We're the same being a friend. Wherever you are, you show up as who you are, and that pattern will be evident.
I want to say the shorthand of all what we're saying is you attract what you are.
Yes.
You attract what you are.
And when you show up imitation, you're gonna get imitation. You can't fake the funk. That's real. So many times we show up as this person, and both people are going, who am I sitting across the table from? Nobody knows who's in this relationship because it was two totally different people who showed up. All right, let's go.
I just want to show a few little photos. I have about maybe 4 or 5 photos. I just kind of want to show. This is when Tina was at the conference.
I won that
and
time.
Look at all those women. I mean, Reverend Jackie there doing her thing. I mean, like, it's powerful. I mean, look at that.
What else is there to say?
Right. It's not so much. I mean, it's not too much to say. I mean, like at this conference, and thank you, Reverend Jackie, for sharing. Reverend Jackie hold all this stuff close to the vest, guys. She don't let this stuff out. I almost had to prior for. I'm like, I just need to use it just for a little promo. That's it. But it's just wonderful just to see the expression on the women's face. You can see it is deep. It is meaningful, and his lives are being changed. Because I know, like I said, I get Tina back when she comes back from the conference. I get the new Tina. But you know what? Here's the funny thing. I got to get my act together during that weekend too. Because I can't be the same old Jason when she comes back, right? So I need to get myself to kind of in order to receive her when she comes back.
That's right.
Water seeks its level, right? Water seeks its level. You're going to always have to seek the vibration.
That's right.
He don't want to get left behind. No,
I sure don't. No, not will you be flying high, walking around here. I'm like, wait a minute, I want some of that.
and as you said, Lakeisha, part of this is that it's a safe zone. It's an opportunity for women to come together and release those things that we do not need or like about ourselves, and pick up the things of armor that we need, that's going to empower us, that's going to make us dig deep to find out who really am I? Who am I? What is my purpose here? So just for women who are concerned, it's you can lay everything down and it's a no judgment zone, but you have to be open and receptive in order for you to make the change that you need to make in your life. So is this our last point,
Yeah,
Jason?
we got one more point, and this is just bringing it home here. This is
All
just
right.
talking about gratitude.
From solitude to gratitude and beyond.
Yes, that's it.
There has been so much that all of us have moved through. And the panel of women and throughout the conference are going to share what happened. What was a blessing that I thought was a pain? What
Yes.
was the lesson that made me go further? How did I move? And was the solitude truly a way for me to expand myself? It is really, I'm totally excited. We will have a psychologist, we will have a financial expert, we will have someone dealing with spirituality, we will have just a woman who has done major change through this period. From solitude, we were in solitude, to gratitude and beyond. That's what it's going to be about.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. I know one of the blessings about our podcast and our show is that we get to reach people all over the world.
Yes.
So we know that there are a bunch of phenomenal people that took that solitude when we were in solitude and came and they seized the moment. So whereas one person may have looked at it as a pandemic or whatever, they seized that moment, and so that solitude brought them to gratitude, and as you said, Reverend Jackie, and beyond. So
And beyond. And
yes.
it's important to know there are those who are in pain. And that's why we have a psychologist that we have finding, because those who are in pain had to move on through it. They're struggling through it now. So we want to make sure they know you're going to get to gratitude and you're going to get beyond.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
All right. So I know let's bring up the Gold Rush Women's Conference website. So for anyone who may not have gotten it, Reverend Jackie, tell us again where they can find the website.
GoldRushWomen'sConference.com. GoldRushWomen'sConference.com. And you will go there and you will see 2022 GWAC. I think that's what it says.
Yes, it does.
Click on that and register. And if you have any questions, they tell you how to contact us. We are very excited. We're moving forward and we're having it structured so there's no compacting. It's going to be roomy, and at the same time, it's going to be a powerful experience for each woman to come into their manifest power.
All right. So as we close it out, Reverend Jackie, give us some last words of
some of those golden nuggets, if you will.
Yeah.
Indeed. If you've never had an opportunity to come into a cocoon of love where you can just let it go, take off the muck and the mire and look at the beautiful, magnificent gold that you are, you need to be at the Gold Rush Women's Conference because that's your opportunity.
All right, Lakeisha, how about you? Give us those last words of wisdom.
So I always say move beyond the block. We all have those blocks that we need to move beyond. We may not be able to identify them, so why not come to a place where that can help you dig deep to see what those blocks are on your path to shining your goal, rediscovering your goal. Come and do that work so that you can go out into the world and do globally. I'll raise my shirt up here. Historical thing.
All right.
There you go.
Right.
We're making history and Women's History Month, and nothing in this world moves without women. And so women, as the forebearers, as the foremothers, we have to be in a good space in order to move ourselves, move our community, move our nation, move our people beyond any blocks. I am privileged and eternally blessed to ever have walked through the doors of the Gold Rush Women's Conference.
All right, so last time it is the Gold Rush Women's Conference. It is held April 28th through the 30th in Lyles, Illinois, and you can register at www.goldrushwomensconference.com. And we are going from solitude to gratitude and beyond.
And beyond. That's right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So
hold on just one second. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. Go out and register.
and spread the word.
Yes,
Get
please
your
do.
sister.
Because they also have payment plans, right, Reverend Jackie?
Yes.
So you can register today and sign up for the payment plan. If you do, when we talk about visioning, if you take the action now, it'll set in motion the manifestation. For you may not know how I'm gonna do it. Don't worry about that. Sign up now if you want to go. Sign up now and watch it unfold for you.
Yes.
If
yes.
you were
Good
ever looking
advice.
for a sign, like, man, I'm not really happy with what the way that my life is going, and you said, God, can you give me a sign? Well, here's your sign. All right, it's right here. We come together to give you the information. You now have the information. Now let's go make yourself better.
All right.
All right, so thanks for watching. We appreciate you. We'll be back next Friday with our Friday Night Live with our guest. I think
Reverend Derek B. Wells.
I think we're gonna have Reverend Derek B. Wells on. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
His episode drops on Wednesday, so we'll be on Friday to talk about it. All right. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you so much.